You're listening to the AI Moment with me, Jonathan Wagstaff.
And me, Danny Denhard.
And Dan, today we're going to talk about the 3T's, are we not? So why don't you take us away on that?
Sure. So something I run through with in enablement and workshops is something I call the 3T's of AI. Basically, I use it's always the same slide. We spoke about it briefly. I flirted with it early on in the earlier episodes, but I wanted just to go through it because it really resonated in the recent conference talk that I did. So essentially, I think it works for both individuals and companies. So the first T is time. So I say, save me time or give me back time or save my energy for another task. So AI should be great at saving you time and giving you some time back. So that's my first T. The second T is truth. So are their outputs and answers truthful? So we've said a number of times, there's still some hallucinations that happen across the models. It is getting slightly better, but something I emphasize a lot is it truthful? Is the output truthful? And do you believe it enough to put it forward, either as your own or part of a collaboration? And the third T is trust. Do I trust the source? And would I put my own name or my reputation or status at risk if I put this forward? So do you trust it enough to put your own name to it? Trust also plays a second side to it as well, is would I trust it with my private data? So we've talked around this a number of times. So I just have to emphasize this a lot, especially in workshops, because many people are going off and self-serving with tools and doing shadow AI and they're uploading the company data or private data to it. And what often happens is people are then a little bit surprised that it might come up or it might be used again in another tool. So they're my 3T's and something that I think really lands really well. What do you think, Jonathan?
Yeah, no, they make a lot of sense to me, Dan. The time one is one that people race to first, isn't it? I mean, I think most people's experience with the AI tools when they first played with them was, oh, this is great. It can write me 600 words in 10 seconds, which would have taken me an hour to do myself. So that's a real quick one. And as we've talked about in other pods, actually, if all you do is use it to save time, you're probably missing a trick. It was that idea of AI sheep and AI lions that we talked about, that if you're just making things go quickly and then just taking the results and pumping them out, you end up with AI slop, as we talked about recently, which takes us forward to your point of truth, right? How accurate is what's come out? How good is what's come out? How much can you rely on it? And then the trust piece is obviously layered on top of that. I think it's a really nice model for somebody to just look at the work they're doing in the space and say, where am I with this? 2 or 3 things here. Is it saving me time? Am I getting the right answers? Can I trust the results? And do I, at the end of that, put my name on it? Because as we've said lots and lots of times, you've got to own the output. Well, however you've used the AI to create the output, you've got to own the end user product out there. So I think it's a really elegant and memorable way of just thinking that through in your head. The 3T's is a really nice, memorable acronym, I think. So well done you.
Thank you very much. It lands very well with department leaders and business leaders. So from workshops that I've done, very often the department leader, you'll see them scribble it down or take a picture of the slide itself. And then it's something they come to me towards halfway through one of the breaks and wants to talk it through. One of the other sections I talked through, we raised it a couple of weeks ago, was the 2 V's, which is verify and validate. So can you verify the information? Can you verify the source? Can you verify enough of it to keep you confident? And then the second one is validate. But can you validate the data analysis, again, to put your own name to it? If you're happy with the time element, but you want another framework, these 2 V's also work really well for companies, especially for those who are more senior and want something quite simple to roll out to their team and their department.
Is it your experience, Dan, that the people aren't doing this stuff at the moment? So as you say, people are writing it down when you say it. It makes me think that maybe people aren't thinking like that at the moment, and it's something that people have got to adjust to.
On feedback, so anecdotally asking individuals or doing by a show of hands, there are those who go off and want to tinker and play with tools, which you and I have said is a good way to do it, providing it's in a safe way. when you talk to a team in general, I think there hasn't been in many teams or departments, and I tend to work what I would call more mid to larger organizations, enterprises. They tend not to have had like the manifesto conversation or policy conversation, or they haven't formalized it enough. And it's very much a top-down exercise. It comes from the leadership team to say, go save some money or go and optimize with AI. What they haven't necessarily done is had the chance to go out and find frameworks and things like that. So I think this is why this lands quite well and why it helps people in a tricky spot when they're not as confident in it themselves, but maybe will be a little bit more confident in it once they have something similar to this. What's your experience?
I think there's probably there's I would say similar, and I would say that there's possibly another pod down the track where we're talking a bit more depth about how you might run AI experiments in enterprises, because I think you're absolutely right. We're seeing all this data from people saying that 90% of enterprise AI experimentation is failing at the moment. Quite often it's failing because either the data doesn't work or the people aren't well enough aware of what they can and should do. There's not really a playbook or a structure. So that might be a subject for a future pod down where we just walk through how you might put a playbook together to do AI experiments in the enterprise. Quite wants to talk.
Yeah, I think if you're at that spot where you've experimented and it's failed and you want some confidence again, I'd say it's something Jonathan and I reiterate a number of times is if you make a list of problems that you're experiencing, whether that's people or production problems, you can go through and really analyze it and go through a list of them. So say like have 3 to 5 that you really want to test out. That's a really quick way, rather than waiting for another pod. That's a really quick way to verify and validate actually that this AI tool or solution might be something for you. So that's another thing I would say before we do a deeper dive on it.
For sure. So Dan, do you just want to reiterate the 3T's for us before we wrap up on this one? Just go back and just reiterate for us what those 3T's were.
Yeah, so the 3T's are time. Does it save me time or give me time back, or save my energy for another task, something I'll get more energized around? The second one is truth. Are the answers truthful or the outputs truthful? And do you trust them enough? And then the third one is trust, which is, do I trust the source? Would I put my name to it if I didn't edit it? And can I go out and trust that my data is safe and sane in another tool? So time, trust, and truth.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dan. I will see you next time, my friend. Good to see you, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks for listening today, everyone. If you liked what you heard, please give us a rating and review in any of the podcast players. We have a supporting newsletter, which is aimoment.co.uk, that comes out on Mondays and Fridays with every pod, and we dive a little bit deeper. So please subscribe there. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.